What's up, guys? Just going to do a quick update here. Welcome on Mexico. Yeah, pretty impressed with what you were able to accomplish here with just a few troops. So, as we spoke about before, just make sure you're finishing up all of your wars and stuff. Like, yes, he's totally out of the fight, cannot produce any more troops in Cuba, but he does still have provinces in his name. So if you take a look at your stats here, at war with Rogue State, Panama, Cuba, United States, and Thailand. So the best thing for you to do right now, man, is to try and finish those up as quickly as possible. This guy's done. He's not going to make it, I don't think. So you should be able to finish that up. And then, yeah, good job with the Corvette. Get your Corvettes, get your ships in there, get them taken out of the troops before you move in with your infantry, and just save yourself some resources, save yourself some time, because if you lose that infantry, you're looking at, 12 hours per unit, and then you're down that cash too, right? Like you're down those 15 hours, so you're down you're also down that those resources too, right? So if you don't have to lose them, don't lose them. So come in with your ships, come in with your planes, come in with your artillery. Down here I've got a big artillery stack, and he's just laying waste to anything and everything that moves right before my infantry even gets there. And I do have one infantry in this stack, right, just for taking land. I'm not going to sit around on the cities with this guy necessarily. I'll just leave one infantry on the city just to get it to the morale up to 35%. But yeah, so if you look, right, if you click this city here that I'm sitting on, so morale trend, right, it is rising, but what affects that? So we got neighbors, we got, in the area, we've got several provinces that are still red provinces. So, and number of wars. So every war, I believe it's 2 points. So if we go and check my stats here, Afghanistan. So yeah, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So Rogue State, Mongolia, Israel, and Saudi. So if I can get, as soon as Kazakhstan's done, that'll drop that down to -6 for my morale trend, and it will help immensely when it comes to bringing that morale up to 35%. And so that's what I would focus on right away, is knocking off the rest of these quick wins here, and get that all cleaned up. And then you can start focusing on a new attack. I try not to move on to my next attack until that first war is done completely. Like every single province is wiped out. I did have to help out Kazakhstan a little bit, so that's why I'm at war with them. I don't have any troops up here, but I did fly planes up there just to kill off some enemy troops. I think they were over here somewhere in Moran or something like that. But anyway, no big deal. So I think the next thing we'll end up doing is probably dealing with Thailand. He was on our team, that's why I still have right away with him. He does have a level 4 and a level 3 shipyard. Looks like he's building, another one, and he does have ships according to Mexico. Sent a couple of Corvettes over that way, and now they're gone. So he does have ships. He was kind of slacking, wasn't really doing anything, so I did boot him off the team. But we may bring him back. We may bring in France. I don't know. So looking over here to Europe, France just sent me a message. He said, Germany's quitting. So I don't know why he's quitting. Germany's got a pretty decent hold on Europe right now. I'm not sure why. But I mean, you can tell a lot. You can tell a lot by what somebody's built. So for instance, UK. The UK, from what I can see, has no arms industries. So what does that mean? It means that he can't produce any tanks, he can't produce any armored vehicles, any support troops, nothing. So all he can do is produce infantry right now. And I don't know what level they're at, but probably not very high if that's the way he's playing. And then, same thing with Germany. He's got a ton a ton of arms industries. Like, they're all level 5 from what I can tell, right? So he's making good coin, but he's not really using it, right? Like, he doesn't have any air bases. All of his army bases are at level 1. So, you know, so he is not producing any armored vehicles. He's not producing any tanks, no support troops, nothing like that. So that's an easy kill. Like, I can tell right away I can go in there and just pretty much wipe this fucker. Same thing with what happened to Israel here. So Israel, like, good on you, man. Like, he had it, I think he had it squared away, but he had left all of these cities. So he went around and took all the provinces, but he left all of Saudi's cities just sitting there. For what reason? I have no idea. There's no point to doing that. Like, you're not, provinces don't make you any money. They don't generate any resources for you. So, you know, take cities out as you come across them, and that'll just add to your resource production, right? So I started today with like 37 and change for supplies, and now I'm up to 53. So pretty decent jump. And then, you know, like, once these guys are all above 35%, then, you know, they'll just be moving on to the next, you know, poor soul that I decide to move in on. So yeah, Kazakhstan looking good. Just keep hammering away at this. I mean, instead of bringing this one guy over to do all this work, you know, you could split the difference and have, you know, this infantry, now that this is above 35%, you know, 34, you know, judging on the time, the game figures, you know, it's giving it to you. So, you know, split the difference, you know, have this guy go into these 4 provinces, right? And then have this guy take care of these 4. It's just going to finish it up quicker for you. It'll just be better. And then I think, yeah, I think Mexico's doing all right. I'm still kind of waiting to see what Namibia is doing down here. I know I saw that he's got some helicopters and stuff being built. Let's see what he's got here. Yeah, he's building some helicopters and such. What's he got going on here? Nothing. Building a army base. Yeah, he's got an attack helicopter here. So, I mean, he's working on it. Use those attack helicopters, bud. And that's what you're going to want to use to kind of scout and kill anything before your infantry gets in, because you don't want to lose your, like, any troops you lose. It's, you know, it might not seem like much, but, you know, it's quite a big deal. I think I've only lost like maybe 4 or 5 infantry this entire game, right? And that goes a long way, right? Like, it's time, it's resources, you know, and then you got to build it, then you got to ship them all the way over to where you're attacking to. So it can fuck you if you start losing too many troops. So just keep that in mind. So this, you know, that's kind of what I'm doing here, right? I know that Israel has tanks and stuff moving over here, and that's what these fighters are going in and killing. So take a look at the stats for your units, because there's always pros and cons no matter what. So mechanized stuff, very, very vulnerable to strike aircraft. So if you go and take a look, like, I've hit this guy probably at least a dozen times, right? 22nd strike wing, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, the list goes on. Like, I've hit him a lot, and he has barely even taken a dent out of my health here, because they simply don't have the defense that is required to deal with aircraft. So if you don't have SAMs or anti-air or anything like that, like, the aircraft's just going to chew you up. So take a look at your stats and stuff, and you can view those. Like, if you go here and you click this little eye here in the bottom right, you can view your stats, right? So take a look at your attack and your defense for all your different stuff, for all these different troop types, and it'll give you a good idea of, like, where your weaknesses and your strengths are, and then you can kind of build on that depending on your play style. I kind of like to landlock myself. That's why I chose Afghanistan. It's really hard for anybody to, like, get an easy kill right in the first few days, right? Because, you know, Navy can't attack me from there, so you'd have to invade by land. So if anyone wants to come and get me, they're gonna have to plow through all this stuff, and it's gonna be difficult. Like, it's not gonna be easy. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I generally like playing with artillery, hitting from a distance, then having my infantry come in and kind of clean up the mess after. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, shoot me a message on here and I'll make another video. And yeah, hopefully we can squeeze out a win here. I'm liking that France wants to come on board. I don't like that Morocco is on his team, but again, you can see Morocco has very few arms industries. So he is producing maybe some tanks, but he can't produce any high-level support troops. He can't produce any high-level armored stuff. So, oh, see, just took it out. So he done. So now I can come in and I can guarantee you that that guy just went through just kind of in a zigzag pattern, and he's probably AFK. Sorry, Israel, you're gonna come back and you're gonna be pissed, but it is what it is, man. You gotta defend or you gotta landlock yourself. Like, I don't have any troops over here because, you know, it's gonna take a long time for somebody to actually get infantry over here and take my cities. And by the time you do kind of get over here, I'll probably have noticed, and you're gonna have some strike aircraft up your ass. So just keep it in mind. Anyways, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Mexico, keep producing Navy. We're gonna need that. I think we're gonna leave Thailand alone for right now. He does seem to be taking my advice and building himself a decent Navy. And Navy can win or lose you the game. I mean, if you get surrounded, you know, France, if he decides to surround you and you have zero Navy to defend with, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do. Game over. So keep that in mind, guys. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just shoot me a message and we'll do what we can. Cheese.